Hey everyone, Jerry from Bronco Adventures. Today we're going to show you guys this new storage box that we got from our friends over at Openroad 4x4. We've used their winch, now we're going to try out their storage box. They sent it to us, asked us to check it out, so we're going to show you what we find out and tell you whether we think it's good enough to buy. Stay tuned. Alright, so first thing first, this thing is pretty stout. You know, you have to admit, at first glance, I thought it was just like any other storage box, but once I got it, it's pretty thick and durable. This is definitely a lot more rugged, for lack of a better term, a lot more rigid than the one we got from the Home Depot. The one that we've been using to put some of our equipment. These have handles on it. You see here, they have the high quality locks just like some of the other high quality storage boxes do. Open this thing up here. Now, you can get a molly panel that goes into these screws holes right here. We didn't opt for that because, to be honest, I don't think we'd ever use that. But I know some of you all probably would. So that's always an option. You can just screw those in right here, big old molly panel. You want to put your first aid kit or anything else that you have, pocket knife, I don't know, whatever it is you usually use those things for. But, you know, when you look at the inside, it's pretty big and pretty thick material. So you're not going to damage this. Now, it does have weather stripping on it, so you can use this to keep rain out. Now, I don't know if I would consider it to be a cooler, but, you know, it does have a drain plug down here on the bottom. So if you do have something leak, you know, out of one of your supplies, you can always just take this off, plug it right back in if you need to, help drain it out when you clean it. I think that's probably what most people might get use out of it for. But this thing's pretty rigid and strong. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty impressed with it. And to beat it all, these ridges up here help make it stackable. So if you want to get multiple, which we easily could do in the Ford Bronco, we could fit probably 4 of these in here, maybe even more. You could stack them up, you know, in the back of your truck, your Bronco, your 4Runner, your Jeep, whatever you have, Nissan. And you could possibly, you know, have like a stacking system in here. So the handles are pretty basic. They are spring loaded, so they stay down. They have a little handle here, and you just pick them up, you carry it like that. Now, as far as the bottom goes, we'll pull it up here and look at it. You can see here the ridges, kind of like the ones on the top. You know, nothing really to point out here, but like I said, it's really thick. They have their logo up here in the front. And of course, these locks, like I said before, these are look almost identical to the ones that we had with our Rome boxes that we used to have on the roof. So, you know, and they have the little spots here to where you can, let me make sure I get that on there right, where you can stick your little lock in right here. Put a little small lock in here, you can lock this up. So that way, if you are towing this on top of your roof or on the top of your tailgate or something like that, you know, and you don't have to worry about somebody getting inside it. So, and you could also use these handles here to secure it down. So, depends on what your, how you do your storage on your vehicle, you know, whether it's a truck, SUV, or whatever. There's plenty of adaptability on this. So, one thing we're going to do is we're going to show you the boxes that we currently use and kind of compare. So this is a plain old Sportsman small box. As you can see here, similar in size. The exterior of this one's a hair bit bigger. And I'm probably assuming that's because of the thickness of the product, which means it's more durable. Whereas this box here is pretty basic. You know, just basic plastic, basic latches. Depends on what you're used for. It might come in handy. To be honest with you, this right here is not a whole lot cheaper. I mean, it's not a whole lot more expensive. So you're doing good with what you got. You know, if you want to, like, as far as size goes, you're not looking at a huge difference. Now, one thing I will say, because of the extra beefiness of this thing, the opening is not quite as big. So that is one thing you have to be mindful of. So that's something that, if depending on what you're using it for, you know, it might not be ideal, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't see how anybody couldn't appreciate the quality of this box. I'm sure there's several boxes made from some of these top name manufacturers that are probably as durable as this, but they're probably about 3 times the cost as well. So that's also something to be mindful of as well. It's like, get what you pay for. Openroad, 4x4, Openroad winch, whatever you know them by. They're a great company. They sent us their winch several years ago. We've had it on. We've used it several times. I've used it on myself multiple times on the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway. I've pulled some friends out, our friends at Rogers and Henderson. I've had to winch him out a few times. We just used it at United by Bronco on barges off road, and several others. So we've used it quite a bit, and it's worked flawlessly. So they are a good trusted name in the market. So I know that other people on YouTube and outside of YouTube that use them as well with great success. So, but anyway, so that gives you kind of idea. The opening of this is bigger. The inside capacity looks about the same. If you want something that's durable, thicker, gives you a lot more latitude as far as mounting your molly panels and such, I would definitely recommend the Openroad. And to be honest with you, this is something I would definitely recommend getting. And I may even go back and buy my own second one. So just to have two. So that's something just to be mindful of. A lot of times these boxes like this, I put my recovery gear in and some of the camping gear. So you'll be able to do some of that stuff. You'll be able to put a lot of stuff in here, big old recovery ropes, machete, tire safety seal kit. We don't use that anymore, but we keep it just in case. A couple of recovery straps, axle straps, you name it. You name it, it all fits in there, and there's plenty of room to wiggle around with. So, that's something that we'll probably keep for this, use this for us to keep some stuff in it that we don't necessarily want exposed to elements, but we think it'll be a good fit and easy to haul around, easy to fit in the back seat and the cargo area, in your trunk if you have a truck or the bed. So. All right, we'll give you some close-up shots here so you can see it a little bit better. Like I said before, the quality is definitely elevated. I know some of the other boxes we've had in the previously, I don't want to mention the brand names, but about the same quality as far as the construction of box itself, but they charge like 2 to 3 times higher. So I definitely consider this a game changer. So if you see here, you got the window stripping there to help keep the elements out. I definitely recommend it. If you have any questions, feel free to hit us up below. We'll put a link down below so you can get your own. They usually have reasonable price and they usually have good sales on. So definitely check out and see if it's right for you. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And we got a lot more stuff to come in the near future. Peace.